Welcome back, Pontiac High School students, to today's lesson on minor or third parties in the American political system. Libertarians, reform, socialist, prohibition, natural law, communist, American independent, green constitution, etc., 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 etc. There are over 20 parties that have nominated candidates for president in recent elections, and not all of them are Democrats and Republicans, so let's find out a little bit about the role of minor parties. Minor parties in the U.S. There are many minor parties in America, and their goals vary from group to group. Classifying these different parties can help us to understand their role in American politics. We have ideological parties. Ideological parties, such as the Libertarian Party, are based upon a specific set of social beliefs. They hold that individuals and societies should act in a very specific way, that there is a good way to act and behave, and this is how people should be. And there are different opinions amongst different groups. Not all of them share the same ideas. We have communist on one side, that we are all part of a whole and we all need to act in the greater good. And there's the Libertarian Party that believes that all of us acting in our very independent way with our own self-interests in mind is the best for the whole. So we should be free to do whatever we want in all circumstances. These are two very different ideas, but they both fall in line with a particular ideology. We have single-issue parties. Single-issue parties advocate a single public policy issue. There is one thing that they want to accomplish. They're usually very short-lived. They either achieve their goal or they fail. But they will go after it. They will go after it for a time. They will succeed, and their ideas will become a part of one of the major parties, or they will fail, and their idea will disappear. A few, however, have had a bit of a longer life, or they morph into something else, like the Green Party has. But past examples of this are the Prohibition Party, which was all about making alcohol illegal, and the Free Soil Party, which is all about expanding territory in the United States without allowing slavery in any of those new territories. Both of those existed for a time. Neither of those continue to exist today. There are economic protest parties. These are parties that generally arise during times of poor economic performance. The economy is bad, so they pop up and they say, hey, our system is horrible and it's because of this. And they cite their reason. They generally protest against both of the major political parties and try to encourage the nation to seek an alternative approach. They say, the Democrats, they do it wrong. The Republicans, they do it wrong. Why would you vote for somebody who hasn't fixed your problems? Vote for me. They usually vanish, almost always vanish, once the economy recovers. And economies usually do eventually recover. We have splinter parties. This is when a little piece of wood gets stuck underneath your skin. Oh wait, no, that's a different type of splinter. A splinter party usually arises around individuals who fail to gain the support of a major party. These are very popular individuals, but their own party doesn't want them, and they feel bad about that. So they go and they have their own party, and they say, hey, come to my party instead. They create a new party and they say, hey, my party's better than that old party. Splinter parties usually are just centered around this one strong individual. And usually once that individual steps down or is no longer in charge of that party, the party itself disappears. Examples of this in the past are the Bull Moose Progressive Party, led by Theodore Roosevelt, former Republican, served as president, decided not to seek a third term. A different Republican became president. Then he decided he wanted to be president again. And all the Republicans said, you know what, we're kind of happy with Taft right now. Thank you for your service. Now please go away and disappear and don't bother us anymore. And he said, no, I think I'll have my own party. And he created the Bull Moose Party. That didn't end well for the Republicans or for Theodore Roosevelt. The Democrat won that election. So why are minor parties important? Although minor parties rarely achieve popular support in national elections, they have had impact on American politics. They are spoilers. On occasion, minor parties have drawn support away from a candidate who would have otherwise won an election. Two big examples of this, and very clear examples of this, are in 1912, Theodore Roosevelt. Hey, Rosie. He was largely responsible for Taft losing the White House. And then in 2000, the Green Party had a particularly good year for the Greens in a particularly close election where Al Gore lost the election, largely because of votes for the Green Party. I think that once the numbers shake themselves out a little bit, we will probably see that votes for Libertarians and Greens may very well have cost Hillary Clinton the election in 2016. But we got to look at those numbers a little more closely once they come out. Or maybe by the time you're doing this, they have come out, but not when I'm recording it. Let's look at an example. All right, this is the 1912 election, the clearest example of a spoiler party. We have all of these guys involved in the election. We have the Republicans, who get 27% of the vote. And, sorry, that would not be the Republicans. That would be Roosevelt, Progressive Party. The third party beat the Republicans. Republicans had 23.2. However, these were really just one political party. These were all Republicans. It was just some Republicans voted for Taft and some voted for Roosevelt. Had there only been one person, Taft, they would have all voted for Taft, and we would have had Taft as president. Or if they had decided in their primary process that Roosevelt was the guy, they would have all voted for Roosevelt. But they didn't. That didn't happen. We had a spoiler in this election. And the person with the most popular votes was Woodrow Wilson with 41.8%, and he became the president of the United States. That was a very clear example. 2000 was also pretty clear. 2016, less so at this point. All right, the innovator role, the other thing they do. The ideas of minor parties gain popular support. Major parties see that and they say, hey, that's a really good idea, and people seem to really like that idea. Let's make that idea ours. The Green Party has gone through this a lot. The Green Party with Ralph Nader back in 2000 was getting to be very popular. A lot of people liked his ideas, which were mostly focused on the environment. And the Democratic Party in particular said, hey, it's a popular idea. People like it. Let's the Democrats be the party of the environment. And they adopted that issue to themselves. And the Green Party lost a lot of support. Whereas in 2000, they were right around 5% of the national vote. In this most recent election, they got less than 1%. So not all that popular. Okay, that was our lesson today on minor parties and their role in American politics. Thank you for joining me today, and farewell.